Cześć ludzie, what's up people? Hola, Vigo's mom,
Okay.
Vigo's dad, aka Carolina and JT here. Welcome to another episode. We have a Q&A. It's been a while since we did a Q&A. We were supposed to have a Q&A for Christmas time.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. It's just life.
Life happened, life happened. I asked you guys on my Instagram, on my community section here on YouTube, and I think also on my Facebook page, by the way. All of that is at Vigo's Dad. So we have your questions, anything that you wanted to ask. Thankfully, you are all a bunch of beautiful people that are respectful, so I didn't have to censor any question. But before this video ends, and don't skip, okay? Don't go to the end. We have an announcement for you guys. Something that's going to change this channel. Something that is going to change this channel.
Exciting.
So, at the very end, after the Q&A, let's go. It was not a plan. Like, it was never something that
It's
we...
like our plan B, sort of. Whatever
Yeah.
we were doing throughout life, we always thought that Poland is always going to be home. When you're in a mixed relationship, one of the countries, either you or your partner's country, is always an option because it's just easier to live in a country that you speak the language, know the culture, have family in.
In the end, literally, the pandemic was a very big deciding factor.
I think, to be completely honest, is that having a child in the pandemic and feeling isolated. If we were just a couple, I don't think it would be us like we needed more help from my parents, or we wanted to take Vigo to both families and things like that. So I think that became a little difficult. So how did we meet?
Give the fast version. I sometimes give too much
Spain.
detail.
It's fast. It was a lovely summer evening. No, I was waiting with my friend to meet other friends because I was there for a Spanish course in the summer. You were there for your master's degree studying. Yeah. He was waiting for also some friend of yours to go to a party because it's Spain. Basically, everyone is out partying. It was Madrid specifically. We were very young. I was, 18?
You were 18, I was 23 or 24.
And me and my friend, Martina, some guy bothered us and tried to sell us CDs. So you kind of pretended to be our friend, kind of shushed him away, and then we started talking, joking, and
I was looking from a corner, waiting for my friend, and this guy was like very pushy, and he looked as if he was kind of like bothering you.
And he was kind of like stubborn, but he was not rude or anything. Anyways, we just kind of exchanged emails, and then after email, some messenger was there, then Facebook kind of picked up all the contacts, and we kind of stayed in touch this way.
We just met. Yeah. Like we met in Madrid, but we
went to one party, all of us together with a group of people, and that's it,
Yeah, nothing. Just literally met this Polish chick, and that's it. And time passed, and met Facebook friends, and she was like the only Polish person in my Facebook friends list, and it was very exotic, and she was in relationships and I was in the relationships, and fast forward to 7 years after that initial contact.
And that's him rambling now.
And then we got into our relationship. I've been on video admitting this. I am not tricking anyone. My Polish is really not that good. I know a little bit. I am taking lessons.
What is your level? What is it, A2?
My level is between A1 and A2. My teacher, Julia, says that I for sure have a lot of things of A2. 100%.
Yeah, I think so too.
Many things of A2, but I have a lot of holes from A1 because I never really taken lessons before. All I've learned is through visiting Poland and listening to her family.
Vigo
teaching
also,
me a little bit Vigo.
But you have a lot of curiosity about grammar, and he's asking a lot of questions, so he actually is very invested now. So I know that it's going to be really fast for you to learn, especially that you're here. So Polish is everywhere.
My wife, tell me, am I?
No, it's a pain in the butt still. We're still waiting. We sent all the documents for his residence card, karta pobytu, and we're waiting. Yeah, it's hard. It's very difficult. And it's not about Poles. I think as an immigrant to any country, it's hard to make friends with the locals. You usually make friends with other immigrants, other foreigners or expats or whatever. Because people who live locally, they have their network kind of established. They have their families, they have their friends, they have their partners, boyfriends, girlfriends.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to get in to their inner circle.
Yeah.
And also depending on how the culture is, it's very open and outdoorsy, like maybe Southern European cultures where people live out and party out and go to restaurants, and they are more open to just talk to people and meet new people. But if you are more north, like here, it's harder for sure.
Even for you as a whole, when you came here after living abroad for 10 years.
I mean, get children and then meet the parents of their children from preschool. That is the best way.
Steal some children. As a foreigner, for Poles in particular, I think that be careful of your energy, you know, what energy you put out. So if you're a Latino, maybe your energy might be a little bit too strong for them. They might get a little like distrustful, you know, a little distrustful. So manage your energy.
I mean, it's changing. Younger people are more open already, and they get a little bit more excited when someone is trying to speak a little Polish or they like things. They compliment us, and then we're like, oh my God, for sure, that helps.
Not a question. Thanks for what you're doing.
Easier for my boyfriend to understand some things, you know.
Okay.
She might be Polish and the boyfriend is a foreigner. So yeah.
Hey,
you're welcome.
You're welcome. Learn from my mistakes and from my hardships. It took a little bit of a beating to learn these things.
I don't know if it's sad or happy. Damn, I will live here. Or oh damn. Probably you say damn in November. But I do say it in November. You don't care about weather.
No. I think last year, when eventually I moved for good, because Carolina and Vigo moved here in May.
Yet no go.
I was still, you know, living in South Africa and kind of like commuting all the time. But in July last year, I came and permanently I've been here. So I guess after the first 2 or 3 months, that like my brain understood that I am not leaving again, and I'm okay, I live here.
When you finally learn where things go in the house, and I didn't have to nag you.
She's still nagging me about that, so that's not the...
When will they learn? They live here, in their house.
Never. I was a little concerned, and you know, I still am to some degree, but because I'm in the middle of a storm, it's like, this storm is scary, but I'm also like, in the storm, so it's like it's not as bad as I thought. It was just the language.
That you were worried. Okay,
I was worried because Polish is difficult, and I haven't learned a new language in a while. And the things that you need to learn a language.
I know when is the storm. When you're in the post office, Poczta Polska calling me.
It's
I don't even understand some of the forms in Poczta Polska, and why on earth Poczta Polska still exists in the times where French is a language for people, international language. All the forms in Poczta Polska is in Polish and French. Is that what? Is it 18th century?
Yeah, true. You know, I have like this extra added thing that because I create content, I have kind of like a mission where I really want to start creating content using more Polish. Because let's face it, I love my audience that understands English, but I want to become as legit as I can, you know, and also incorporate content in Polish.
Become a user.
And wujek usual.
That's the problem with our honesty. Also, I know it because I'm also on the receiving end of it. That we like to be honest about the negative things, not about the positive things. You know, I'm sure all of you know when you're raised in Polish families, is like you're doing good. Yeah, you're supposed to do good. You're doing bad. We need to talk about it. We need to tell you. We need to motivate you not to do it again. Yeah. Especially, there's this huge difference between how Polish and Latin people, maybe in general, handle guilt or like making mistakes. You are so uncomfortable discussing, we shouldn't have done it this way. We did it wrong. You get very like defensive. Like you feel the Polish people always like to point fingers. But in our understanding, we are learning and we're like analyzing the situation so that next time we are equipped in knowledge not to do it again. You know?
Yeah, you know, there should be a fine balance point where, you know, how much do you need to be accountable for? But at the same time, how much do we need to find a person to blame? And I think that Latinos, we sometimes don't take accountability for our errors as often as we should. Yeah. And I think Polish people are always looking for, you know, who is responsible.
Yeah, this is a very difficult topic for me because in my soul and in my heart, I believe that veganism is the moral baseline. Like, I believe that is the best way to live your life. That you don't harm animals, you don't harm the environment, that's the best diet for those aspects. I believe that it also can be very healthy, like every diet that needs to be done properly. But at the same time, we live in a non-vegan world, so especially when you're raising a child and you're participating in society, it is challenging, so we break it. You know, we are vegetarian when we are out and there are no vegan options. We sometimes eat eggs from our neighbor that has chickens, so it is, you know, like not from a factory farming. To answer what's good, like the feeling that you live in accordance to your beliefs. I think that is what makes me believe in veganism. Like, I would not be able to go and kill an animal. I would not be able to harm an animal, so it always sat wrong with me. I was growing up, why do we have to do that? Like, why? I believe that to live we have to do it, and now I know that we don't, so I don't do it and I feel good about it.
This is a topic that has become very sensitive because people that have strong belief in anything, religion, veganism, whatever, feminism, they feel very passionate about it. And, you know, we have made episodes where we are talking about veganism and that we're vegan. And when we were in the UK, we were 100% vegans. When we moved to Poland, it became a little bit more challenging for many of the reasons that Karina said. And for us, for our family, we made the decision that we wanted to sometimes do vegetarian. Nothing to do because we think that, I don't know, I cannot be without my cheese. No, it's about understanding that we want our family, our son, to feel integrated.
Yeah, it's about convenience, to be fair. And sometimes I even struggle with that, thinking that it's laziness. But you have only 24 hours in a day, and sometimes you just have to give up on some things.
Having said that, we eat 95% of what we eat is 100% vegan.
Because
it is very important that we lay it out there. We're not trying to pretend that we're vegan, but then I make a story where we are eating an omelet. So it is what it is. And if you eat everything, that's your thing, that's your life. Do what works for you. We do what works for us. This channel is not about blaming. It's not about pointing fingers. It's about inclusion.
That's what it is. What a great question.
You wrote this question. My favorite thing about my wife is that my wife is an extremely kind person, a very empathetic person, and I couldn't have found a stronger person. I was away. Like they say, there are certain things that challenge a family. Remodeling is one of them. But also being apart. And for 2 years, we were somewhat of a broken family. I was living in South Africa for 2 or 3 months, 4 months, and coming here.
I think the record was 4 months,
4 months, coming here only for some weeks and then leaving again. And she has a day job plus a 4-year-old plus remodeling on top of her.
I also did some remont at the same time.
Completely. And she held the fort like nothing I could have ever imagined.
I know that I will die a little earlier because of that. Innovation,
I haven't.
development. That's what it is.
You took it out of my board.
We want to make things better. That's why we need accountability and guilt.
That is literally my favorite thing about Poland and I guess Poles.
Apart from Poczta Polska.
People are here. You feel that this country wants to progress. You feel that this country wants, the houses. You go to visit any friend, the houses are newer, renovated. People want to make sure that what they have is taken care of, and it's just literally getting better. The country is getting better.
Yeah, you notice it when you live abroad and you come back here regularly, and it's like Warsaw is changing. This is new. This is new. This is new. People starting new businesses. People are very entrepreneurial here. I think that we are active in this way.
Yeah. The cute girl here next to me. Ha! Trilingual, you mean?
Well, but
I thought it was horrid. I'm sorry.
Realistically, we only use one rule. Just make sure that you speak your language to your child and nothing else. Yeah. That's one of the rules. In our case, we speak 2 different languages. So he speaks Spanish to Vigo always. I speak Polish. That's it. Just don't. Even they won't let you. Like, I tried to speak some English to Vigo to see if he can. After we moved from London, I'm like, oh, I hope he's not gonna lose it. And he's like, move normal, speak normal. Yeah, they don't like the change.
Yeah, but you have to be resilient, okay? What surprised you about learning Polish? what surprised me the most.
Dopełniacz.
The freaking dopełniacz. Such an important case.
Oh
and it's
God.
so complicated.
No, cases, I think, in general, and there are so many endings and different.
Bro, it's like you have first the genders.
Changes, 3 pączki, 5 pączków. I don't even care. I said divorce or Poland.
My Latino partner is very hesitant because the weather is not as nice as where we live now.
I'm also hesitant about the weather.
Plus, he thinks that people in Poland are a bit grumpy and rude.
Yes, they are.
A bit only? Okay, to answer your question, my wife didn't have to convince me. I always, you know, it's very simple. I've dragged my wife to all the places we've lived before Poland. She went to the R, you know, because I didn't have an option at the moment to go anywhere, and she went with me. Then I found a job offer in Austria, and she went with me. I wanted to go to London because I wanted to, you know, do music in London, and she went with me. And then when the pandemic happened, and we kind of like we thought, okay, pandemic and Brexit is making this place a little bit unlivable, and I just thought, you know what, I think that it's time for me to do right by her. I knew that I would love Poland, and I knew that she...
I was not really even asking you to go to Poland, but in my heart, I felt somehow that living abroad has never completely fulfilled me. I kind of felt something was missing. And I came back to Poland and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. It's about stability. Something that anchors me in my past or takes me back to childhood and things like that. These are not rational things. You should not make decisions like that in your life when you think about money, raising children, obviously. But to me, it was something that turned out to be very important. The smell of air, the nature, the spaces, how they are organized. Like houses in England are so narrow. It was driving me crazy. Coming back made me feel like I'm back home.
The weather, and listen, whether I am affected or not affected by the weather, it is a real thing. If you're used to a lot of sun and a lot of heat...
I wonder where they live. People have solutions. 6 months here is actually nice. Spring and summer, lovely. And there's a lot of activities in the city.
A lot of heat.
Yeah.
Summers are very warm.
And sunny, and you have very long days, so it's lovely. The other 6 months, not as great. Fall and winter. I mean, winter has its appeal for snow and skiing, or you know, doing making snowmen and stuff like that, especially if you have children. But people go just travel. They go for holidays here and there. So if you can organize yourself to go get out and get some sun, a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Keep yourself busy. Go to the gym. Look for things that don't necessarily require you to be outside. You know, and hey. You can do it.
Drink.
It'll feel... or that. In Poland, no. The most unpleasant thing here, to be honest, is a little bit of... People are very impatient. So sometimes you feel like they're breathing down your neck.
We are like that to each other as well. So it has nothing to do with you being a foreigner. You're really not also visibly so much a foreigner. You know, like I'm not saying that these unpleasant things don't happen, because I've heard stories from Asian people, maybe African people, that I know that the attitudes also depend on where you're from.
I guess
India, Muslim countries, I know women married to men from there, and the stories are different. I'm not saying that those people are horrible to all the other minorities, but I'm saying that if there are unpleasant situations, and I think they happen more often to people who are more visibly other than Poles.
True.
Still, Warsaw, at least where we live, is a lot more multicultural than it used to be.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't, because I didn't have that much knowledge on Poland.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you think something negative about it. You just wouldn't know about it. It would not occur to you.
I wouldn't know. It wouldn't have occurred to me.
Nice Polish girls are the best ambassadors for our culture.
There might be many reasons why you are interested in a culture. I think the main one is knowledge. What knowledge you have about this culture. So we know about Spain, about Italy, about France, because their PR is very well known. Everyone knows about them. Polish history is still relatively unknown to the Western world, and I guess to a lot of Asian countries too. Second thing, it's romance. Like, people would do anything in life
for love.
For love. So I think it's a very big part of this thing. I, for one, whatever I do in my social media, literally is to try to promote and showcase some of the amazing things that Poland has. So that people like me don't have to necessarily discover
nice
Poland
Polish
because of a Polish woman or a Polish guy or a job that they found, they got on a multinational that is based here in Poland. So that the country can entice you and enchant you based on its own merits. Take
JD,
two.
what is your announcement?
I know that you all came scrolling here. Go back to listen to the questions. There are many interesting questions and we have answers for them. But I said that our news was going to change this channel because, this channel's name is Vigo's dad. A lot of you guys think I'm Vigo. I am not Vigo. It's
He's
Vigo's
the father of Vigo. Vigo is our son.
Wait for it. Here it comes.
Vigo's
And also,
dad.
now he's gonna be a father of someone else. Because I am pregnant.
What? Oh my god! Karen is pregnant, so is it gonna be Vigo's dad or Vigo and we'll reveal names later. Vigo and Mrs. Ek.
It's a girl.
It's a girl!
We're very happy, and it's been a long time. I am 5 months pregnant, so it's just...
Caroline is not fat.
I mean, it might be both. Here she is. Now the world is changed. I'm pregnant.
I'm gonna be a girl dad.
He's dreaming
boy.
about it always, so...
Hey, seriously, go back and listen to the questions and answers, okay? I know you came here. Bye-bye.
Bye.